There is nothing better than seeing the great lights of the famed Las Vegas Strip. Nowhere other than Las Vegas, Nevada. It's the greatest 10 nights of rodeo, and it all starts right here on UNLV campus in the famed Thomas Mack Center for the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo, and it all starts right now.
There is definitely unsettled business with the gold buckle. I want to get a gold buckle in Las Vegas in the Thomas and Mack. That's what I dreamed of ever since I was a little kid.
We don't take second place. We don't like second place, and we won't settle for it.
I don't really care about the doubters. I would like to prove to myself that I can do what I believe she can do and what I can do.
As a kid, watching all those guys, you know, especially like Trevor, being able to go in the Thomas and Mack and compete for 2 gold buckles.
My family doesn't put any pressure on me like I have to go win a world buckle. That's more like self-pressure. I know that I'm capable of winning a world title, and really I should win a world title.
Personally, I would really love to win the average and the world championship here in the Thomas and Mack. That's something we haven't done yet.
I'll bring something home for my granddad.
I want to win 2 gold buckles.
I would love to win another world championship on her. I do think she has it in the tank.
I want it so bad.
I will win a gold buckle if anybody was wondering.
Without a horse, you ain't shit. You can quote me on that.
Well, this is the Teton Ridge NFR pre-show presented by Brumbaugh's Furniture and Design. We're live here at the Thomas and Mack Center, and welcome inside the Pro Rodeo Fan Zone. The crowd is really starting to take shape, and they're about ready to make their way into the Thomas and Mack Center. But for now, I'm Kadee Coffman, and I've got a great group of friends who will be joining me all throughout these next 10 nights to be breaking down the action and also maybe giving you some world champion picks and who they want on the top of those fantasy teams. Alongside me to get us started, 5-time world champion and Pro Rodeo Hall of Famer Luke Branquinho. And how about this girl power? 23-time world champion cowgirl Jackie Crawford, 6-time world champion and recently Pro Rodeo Hall of Famer Kaycee Feild, as well as 8-time world champion Stetson Wright. I think I calculated all that. That's 42 world titles up on this desk, and I know we're going to have a lot of fun. And speaking of world championships, we've already got 1 gold buckle in the bag here at the 2024 NFR, and it started with the breakaway roping over at the South Point. And Jackie, since that's your event, and not only was it one of your friends, but a fierce competitor, Kelsie Domer. Man, she was a fierce to be reckoned with.
You know, Kelsie came in behind the top 3, but you know, you never rest easy when Kelsie's behind you coming into a finals. And just like we thought, there was 2 girls that came through. Martha Angelone and Kelsie Chase passed the top 3 to end up 1st and 2nd in the world, and so deserving for both of them.
Here's another look at Martha Angelone's run here.
You know, these girls, they came out firing. They didn't come out safetying up. They came out firing for rounds and then ended up coming out and still winning the average. Kelsie Chase stayed strong. They both placed high in the average. She won the average, which was really cool. To win the average at the NFR and the world, so deserving for her. I'm so proud of her.
Well, I got to ask you, Jackie, coming in with the momentum she had from the Kimes Ranch breakaway roping, with what she won there and being able to carry that into the women's national or the breakaway national finals, how huge was that for her?
You know, Kelsie Chase is one of the most mentally strong people I know. Had she not even done good at the Kimes Ranch, I guarantee you, as strong as she is, she would have turned around and done it anyways. But it is always so important to have that momentum, and she just played off of it, and her and Little Man were phenomenal all week.
They were, and they ended on top in the world standings for breakaway. Kelsie Domer could not be stopped. Martha Angelone, Josie Connor, Shelby Bosley, Medjid, Jackie Crawford. You were in that top 5, and I know you want another gold buckle, and I know it's in your future, isn't it? I mean, gosh, you have 23, but who's counting?
I would love it, but you know what? Top 5 goes to the American, and I could not be more pumped about that.
And we are excited to watch you at that American rodeo. Well, speaking of great rodeos, let's talk more about the National Finals Rodeo and what we've got over the next 10 nights. You want to see some favorites? Here are the world standing leaders as they come into round 1, but for any of you fans, you know that can change very quickly. First and foremost, Rocker Steiner in the bareback riding, and let's bring in Kaycee Feild to talk about Rocker and what you think these next 10 nights are going to look like.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what Rocker does the next 10 days. I'm really excited to see how electric he's showing up. His preparation is amazing. I'm really excited to see Rocker the 10th night and see what he finishes and how he finishes.
Well, who else do you think is going to put the pressure on him?
Oh, Jess Pope, the old man. Now that I'm gone, I can say that. But
You've been
he's got a
waiting to
nice
say
horse.
that.
I have. Yeah, he actually did a senior project on me, so it's kind of odd. But
that does
Jess
age
Pope,
you. Yeah.
Shut up. Sunny Skies, I'm really excited to see him on that horse. And then Weston Timmerman, young kid, watch world champions grow up. His uncle, Kelly Timmerman, he's a great kid. His preparation is like nobody else. His horse is going to stay really close, come around, stay close to the chutes. The judges will see everything. Also, Cole Franks, Yippee Kibitz, a horse that I've had a lot of luck on in the past. That horse is awesome here in Vegas. So Cole Franks, I'm really excited to see what he can get done as well.
A lot of luck. You won the American on him last year. That's pretty good luck, Case. You go ahead and say that. Acknowledge that. Let these folks know.
Yeah, at the American, me and Yippee Kibitz got along, and maybe a few other times too. We
Just
won't go
take
down
a
that road.
page out of Luke's book. He pumps himself all throughout the show. I know you and Stetson will get there by rounds 4 or 5, maybe 6. But Stetson, let's stay with the rough stock and let's break down saddle bronc riding.
Well, the saddle bronc riding, Damien is coming in with a decent-sized lead, but there's no such thing when you get here. But my first-round pick is going to have to be Brody Cress. He's got a horse that they placed on multiple rounds here at the finals, Vain Reflection. I think if Brody's won the average, I think 3 times, and if he gets hot, there's no reason why he shouldn't win a gold buckle. But I'm going to be biased. I think Ryder's been riding high right now, and he's kind of my pick for every round. So we'll see how it plays out.
Well, I know you've got 8 world titles, and you sure wish that you would have been competing for your 9th one this year. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling good. On Monday, I got the go-ahead to start riding again, and then I loaded up, came here, and got behind a mic.
Yeah, we like having you here, but I hope next year we see you inside the Thomas and Mack. But you know who won't be is the retired steer wrestler right here, Luke Branquinho. You're done. You're retired, and you're just a face for TV through and through. Hey, why don't we get to steer wrestling?
Maybe a voice for TV, but yeah, steer wrestling. I mean, listen, such a tight race. Dalton Massey's been impressive, but let's look at tonight. I mean, to me, that's got to be Jesse Brown. Great steer. They said he has one they like in Rowdy Parrott as well. So for tonight, that's going to be guys that you're going to want to watch. But Jesse Brown is so dominant in this arena. He's riding Curtis Cassidy's horse, Tyson. Dirk Tavener on the other side, Hazen. He's going to be a guy they're going to have to really try to fend off if they want to have a chance at that world championship race.
That's right. And in second, we saw Dakota Eldridge. And you want to talk about a veteran. This is his 10th NFR. He's won the average twice, so I wouldn't want him in my rearview mirror.
Yeah, and we're seeing a horse change from Dakota. He's getting on a new horse that actually came from Blake Knowles. They bought that horse, went to Colorado, and Dakota has a lot of confidence. And everybody at this table, even you being Miss Rodeo Salinas and California and just everything.
Oh, gosh,
look
keep
at
it coming. Yeah, sure.
Confidence coming into this building's huge. And if Dakota can carry on that confidence, look out.
Well, Luke, with that, we're going to move on and check out tonight's schedule. We've got a lot of things that are coming up. Of course, you're watching the pre-show now. But here's the streaming schedule. Take note. Teton Ridge NFR pre-show from 4:30 to 5:30. And then we're going to follow up with Pro Fantasy Rodeo Live over at Resorts World. Teton Ridge and the rodeo recap. So right after the rodeo, come on back to the Pro Rodeo Fan Zone and join us as we recap each round over the next 10 nights. And of course, we're going to get this party started at 8:45 over at Rodeo Vegas Live inside the Zouk nightclub. And you want to hang with some cool people? Well, 2-time PBR world champion JB Mooney will be headlining the Rodeo Vegas Live. It's certainly something you don't want to miss. And hey, when we come back, we have the world champion from the breakaway. She's joining us. She's over at the Brumbaugh's Furniture and Design Set with no one other than 2-time PRCA Announcer of the Year, Anthony Lucia, and he'll be here right when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
Get ready for the richest weekend in rodeo. The American Rodeo returns to Arlington, Texas, April 11th and 12th, 2025. with performances by country music artists Riley Green and Bailey Zimmerman. See the biggest names in rodeo go head-to-head versus rising stars, all for a shot at a life-changing $1 million. Get your tickets now at AmericanRodeo.com and join us April 11th and 12th at Globe Life Field, the American Rodeo, where legends are made.
For PFR's 21st birthday, we're celebrating in style. I'm offering up my own personal Cybertruck. Go to ProFantasyRodeo.com. Pick one rider from each event at the NFR. Rodeo Super Bowl. Best team over 10 nights is the winner. You could pick the truck and trailer, but think about how cool it'd be driving around in one of these.
Welcome back to Teton Ridge NFR pre-show presented by Brumbaugh. So we are in the Brumbaugh Lounge, and when it comes down to it, I'm comfortable sitting here, but this lady next to me, she is most comfortable when it's on a horse, when she's backed into the box for a world title. That's exactly what you accomplish. Your first PR Rodeo world title, Kelsie Domer. Congratulations. Has it sunk in yet that it's real?
I don't know if it's fully sunk in yet, but it's getting there.
Well, you've had a stellar year all season long, and yeah, you've won WPRA world titles all the way back 12 years ago. In 2012, you won your first 2 world titles, but talk about how much this one maybe doesn't mean more, but possibly could mean a whole lot more.
Yeah, this one I think is my new favorite. You know, it's different than the ones in the past. The ones in the past, we were just used to jackpots and things like that, and now this is grinding out all year long, going to all these cool pro rodeos we've always heard about, and coming out on top in the end.
Yeah, speaking of cool pro rodeos, you won events like the Calgary Stampede. You were the co-champ at Pendleton Roundup, and throughout the season to get to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo and the breakaway roping, was there a win in the season that maybe solidified that mindset of I can be a champion this year?
You know, just like that, yeah, Calgary was a big one, and then to end your year winning Pendleton, I mean, that's huge. You get to end on a high note and kind of carry that through the finals. So I think the end of my year was pretty big to me.
When it comes to mindset, is there any kind of program where you tell yourself, like, I don't really know how to quantify what you're thinking whenever you're backed in the box, but how do you stay so cool, so calm, so collected, no matter the circumstance?
You know, we practice every day to get to that point, and when you get there, you just want to do your job, react and do your job. But I try to keep it simple and keep it like that. You know, rules don't change, job doesn't change, just back in there and do your job.
Breakaway roping is on the rise, to say the least. So much money is now being added in different events, and now obviously the added money in the NFR breakaway, it was more, and congratulations also on an earnings record.
Thank you.
But talk about from where you started in 2012, did you ever think that you would have the opportunity to now in round 10, when all the world champions are crowned in pro rodeo, that you get to go out on that stage and hoist that gold buckle that says none were better?
Then no, that wasn't a dream, but it's so cool to see how much has changed in those 12 years that now that's something we get to dream out about, and then that's something, you know, hopefully my little girl might dream about too, and she gets to do that now at 2, and I get to start doing that until, 30.
Absolutely. Well, somebody that knows, you mentioned your little girl, another mom who is a champion, and that is Jackie Crawford. And I know, Jackie, this is one of your biggest fans, but also I know you're a pretty big fan of Kelsie.
Yeah, absolutely. She's one of my best friends, and I don't know if I tell her that enough, but she knows it.
Yeah.
But one thing I think that a lot of people don't understand about you that I can appreciate so much is that you haul by yourself all year, and people don't really understand the support system that it takes for you to do what you did this year. You have family members that go in 2-week increments and come and fly out and help you with your little girl so that you're able to do this and accomplish what you just did at the end of the year. And I know that means so much to you, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm excited and just so thankful for your family to let you do what you did.
Thanks, pal. I appreciate that.
They're so cool. I just want to sit back and listen to you two talk. But let's talk about that support system, because there's not any champion that's on that stage, and not any champion that we'll see after 10 nights of competition that doesn't have that support system. Right. Talk to us about not only being an inspiration to your daughter, but having the means to be able to do that.
Yeah, like she said, you have to have it, and I'm so blessed with a great family that does that and sacrifices and does those things to allow me to follow my dreams. And if you didn't have them, for one, it wouldn't be as fun, and for two, I just don't know if you could make it work. So it's pretty special that my family backs me, and then I get to go rodeo with my best friend too. So it's pretty cool.
It is special, and what you've accomplished. We know your support system, your family, but little man, the 19-year-old horse that you've been a teammate with the last 5 years, that horse has almost taken you to another level.
Absolutely. Once-in-a-lifetime horse. He's amazing. Glad I was able to get him bought. That was a special time right there. But, yeah, he's so cool. Does his job every time so fast. Without him, I dang sure wouldn't be sitting here.
Well, we're thankful you are sitting here as the reigning world champion breakaway roper. Kelsie Chase, thank you so much. Kelsie Domer, thank you as well. Yeah. And Kadee, back to you.
Well, Anthony, big congratulations to our first champion crowned for the 2024 National Finals Rodeo, Kelsie Domer. And hey, you know what? We've got more great guests, especially musical guests. They are getting set, and Carson Jeffrey will play when we come back here inside the Pro Rodeo Fan Zone. Don't go anywhere.
I just try to put my foot in the stirrup as much as I can, as much as possible. I'm grateful for every time I get to, but with that comes a lot of fails. I don't really think that people understand how much goes into what we do to be competitive.
More than $6 million in earnings.
He didn't waste any time turning around and getting back in there. He is just a talent like this industry. This is where the money's made right here.
This job is something that if you don't absolutely love it, it doesn't matter how talented you are. Being able to go that fast and turn that hard, and a horse is literally giving you their everything to put on a show in 2.5 minutes by separating a cow the best that you can and keeping that cow from the herd is our entire goal. Whoever looks the best and does it the most correctly is gonna come out on top.
Back-to-back champion here in the cutting.
You know, people just see the wins. They just see like the good moments. I'm only responsible for really about 20% of our success. There's so much pressure and fatigue and frustrating moments that people don't get to see. Watching your team and your family and everybody give 100% to get me to town in the best way, to feel the most competitive that I can, it's a beautiful process that goes into what we do.
For PFR's 21st birthday, we're celebrating in style. I'm offering up my own personal Cybertruck. Go to ProFantasyRodeo.com. Pick one rider from each event at the NFR. Rodeo Super Bowl. Best team over 10 nights is the winner. You could pick the truck and trailer, but think about how cool it'd be driving around in one of these.
A small town boy, we're passing through. We're just gonna have me only one or two that she came walking in. We stole the life out of my breath. Little people on my shoulder telling me to move in. To all them Navajo pearls and day turquoise rain. Her hair tied up high and holes in her jeans. And I said to myself, this is all I'll ever need. My little ranch girl dream, yeah, ranch girl dream, yeah. That's a risk I'm willing to take. Really, a woman like that is worth more than any money I'll ever make. She wore them Navajo pearls and days, turquoise rain. Her hair tied up high, holes in her jeans, and I said to myself, this is all I'll ever need. My little ranch girl dream, yeah, ranch girl dream, all the ranch girl. Have I seen her before? Well, in a dream and just another bar, wearing Navajo pearls and days, turquoise rain, hair tied up high, holes in her jeans, and I said to myself, this is all I'll ever need. My little ranch girl dream, yeah, ranch girl dream. My little ranch girl dream, yeah, ranch girl dream.
Well, what a way to start round one of the National Finals Rodeo with none other than Carson Jeffrey. I know Carson's going to come on up here and you're going to take a seat with us. We're going to ask you some really hard questions and all your predictions over the next 10 nights of the National Finals Rodeo. But Carson, thank you again for joining us here on the Teton Ridge set. And I know that you're a cowboy through and through. Not only are you a singer-songwriter, but you love the Western way of life. You even rope.
Yes, ma'am.
And so talk to us just about that and what you're really excited to watch and what events you're really looking forward to.
For sure, man. I'm just happy to be here. You know, I grew up roping and just decided to start singing, but to get to sing right here in front of the Thomas Mack, where I grew up watching it on TV every night, it's pretty cool. So, yeah.
Well, I got to ask you, Carson, your favorite event, our second favorite event. I know steer wrestling's probably your first favorite. So, your second favorite event, what do you got?
Calf roping, yeah, no, that's what I grew up doing, calf roping and team roping. So that's definitely got my heart a little bit when I'm watching. And I mean, to me, it doesn't get any better than roping a calf. So.
Well, I think there's a name, Jackie, we're all familiar with that he ropes with. In fact, that guy may have spent some time in the Thomas and Mack, right?
Yeah, for sure. No, we been in here a couple of times and hung out and everything, and yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, very cool.
When you're looking at the tie-down roping, you can see Shad Mayfield is coming in with back number 1. Haven Medjid, world champ in his own right, is number 2. Do you have any standouts that you're really looking forward to seeing in the Thomas and Mack?
I really like Kincaid Henry. You know, this is his third trip here, I believe, and I think he's, you know, going to get to come in here and kind of, he's almost got a little bit of veteran on him now, you know, so maybe he's going to come in here and really win a lot of money this week. So
yeah, great pick. Great pick. I really like watching Kincaid.
Oh, yeah.
And you're, like you said, he's been here a few times now. I'm ready to see him cut loose here.
I think it's time for him to crack out, yeah.
Well, one thing about Kincaid, pressure doesn't bother him. We've seen him at the bottom of the standings last year coming in like he had to win at the last rodeo. That pressure didn't bother him. I love watching him rope in this building.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you going to be in Vegas for a couple more nights?
We are. We're going to be here a few more nights, and then we're going to fly back midweek and then drive back out for the last weekend. We got a couple more shows later this week. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of moving around, but it's going to be fun.
Where are you playing at while you're out here?
We are at the Cosmopolitan tomorrow night, opening for Ian Munsick at the Chelsea Theater. And then on next Friday, we are back at the Westgate. So, going to be a fun one.
All right. Well, you kicked it off here in the Pro Rodeo Fan Zone on the Teton Ridge set for round number 1 of the 2024 Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. Hey, don't go anywhere. We've got world champion picks. We've got pro fantasy picks. You're watching the NFR pre-show. Stay here.
NFR with another chance to possibly win $1 million.
Hopefully this is our road to the American.
We love that money. We're trying for that $1 million.
Going to the casino.
Paving our way towards $1 million. Lord knows we could use it.
You know, it's an opportunity you only have once a year, so it's time to make it count.
Well, the sun may be setting in Vegas, but things are about to get really heated inside the Thomas Mack Center. We are just minutes away from round one of the 2024 Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. But before we get to all the action, we've got to ask these world champs alongside me who their world champ picks will be all throughout the next 10 nights. Here are your Tractor Supply co-stars to watch as we kick off round number one. Kaycee Feild, here's Jess Pope.
Yep, Jess Pope, this is the man right here. He shines in Vegas. He's won the average here several times, won a world title. He's strong, he's tough. Vegas, it's his home. He rides really good here. He rides really correct, never makes a mistake. I don't know. Actually, I hate to say this, I've seen him make one mistake on Top Gun last year in the 10th round, cost him world title. He's hungry. He wants to prove a point. I'm really excited to see Jess Pope start off to a great start and finish the 10 days good. Take it away, Stats.
Well, yeah, this is the Iceman. I know he's my brother, but as of late, there's nobody that's been hotter than him. He's been winning everywhere, riding good. He's super confident, and I mean, it's pretty awesome to watch, especially when it's your brother. So he's my pick. And once he gets hot, everybody's seen every time he wins a round, he wins 4 more. So it's going to be hard to stop a guy that wins 5 rounds or more.
Well, and you said that started even this fall. Like when we went to Pendleton and did Rodeo Roadshow, you said he is hot, he's staying hot, and that's carried on into the national finals then.
Yeah, when we talked about it then, he was placing and winning everywhere, and then he finished it out in Sioux Falls, won that, went from I think 4th in the world to number 2, and he's riding high right now, so it's going to be hard to stop him.
I know you may have mentioned this earlier, Stetson, but just give us a preview of the horse that he has drawn tonight.
He's got a horse called Bobby Show. It's never been here before, and so when I seen the draw, I'm like, oh my gosh, an unknown horse. Well, then I pulled up the video, and this horse, like I said before, I didn't want to pick him because it is the horse's first time being here, but stacks up, doesn't go very far from the buck and shoots, and I mean, I told him, I said, if you're not 89.5 tonight, I'm going to fight you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you tougher than him, though? That's the question.
No. I'll say
Kaycee
it.
answered it.
We're going to get right in, Stetson, since you're on a roll. We're going to get right into your stock report. And you talked about Brody Crest and Angel's Landing.
Brody Crest and Vain Reflection. It's a super good horse of legacies. Angel's Landing is too, but they've placed on this horse multiple times. They've won almost every legacy rodeo, and just a super nice horse that Brody should be able to flash him up. I'm pretty excited for Brody. He always does good here.
Yeah, you were right. I had to correct my notes here. But Angel's Landing, you also mentioned him for the bull riding with Josh Frost.
Yeah, and I'm sticking to Utah. I mean, Josh has been riding super good. He had a little shoulder problem, but Josh is a veteran, and to me, this is his year to win the world, and I think he's going to start out with winning the first round, anywhere from 88 to 90.
Well, Stetson, coming into the national finals with injury, is that going to be in the back of Josh Frost's mind? I know he took time off since Pendleton. I'm sure he's been rehabbing, getting treatments, but is that still in the back of your mind?
It always lingers in the back of your mind. That was like me coming in here last year. The whole PRCA, all the rodeo fans, they had me convinced that I was Superman, so I tried to deal with an injury that I shouldn't have, and It was lingering in the back of my mind, took me out, but I think Josh, he did get on about 14 bulls in less than a week at his house, so he's feeling good, and I think he's kind of drowned out the bad thoughts, and to start it out with Angels Landing in round 1, it literally couldn't be a better pick for him, and then leading into round 2, he's just going to be fired up.
You want to know who else is listening in? It's two-time PBR world champion JB Mooney. He's getting set over at Zouk nightclub at Resorts World, but he knows a thing or two about the bull riding, and I'm sure he has an opinion of Angels Landing and how Josh Frost is going to handle that. JB, what do you got?
Oh, I think Stetson hit the nail on the head with him. Angels Landing, White Muley turns back right into the gate to the left. I believe he's right. He wins the round.
You think Josh is going to stay hot all throughout the next 10 nights?
I believe so. You know, he's on the team that I coach, the Oklahoma Wildcatters, and earlier this year I put him on injury reserve because I wanted to use him every weekend, but I was scared that I was going to tear him up so he wouldn't be able to come here to compete. I talked to him about it, put him on injury reserve, and now he's in the position he needs to be in to win a world title.
Hey, Katie, he looks way more relaxed sitting right there than he did when he was sitting up here next to me.
I know. Climate-controlled look. He doesn't even have a warm jacket on. He's having fun. And, JB, do you know, do you have your world champion pick? I know it's early, but who do you got for bull riding?
TJ Gray, he has the best opportunity. He comes in sitting first. I believe it's his to lose. TJ's been riding really good, but there's a lot of guys that are coming behind him. Wesley Shala, Jeter Lawrence, 2 rookies that ride exceptionally well. So he's got his work cut out for him, but it's his to lose in my eyes.
Stetson, you have a comment on that?
Well, no, he's exactly right. TJ, he seems like a veteran. Like, this is his first NFR, but like, I watched him make a bunch of 90-point rides this year, and I mean, not show any emotion, just walk back, get on the back of the buck and shoots, and just act like it was an 85-point bull ride. So I really like TJ's chances coming into this, and I would be happy to see him win it, but I'm sticking with Josh. He's the guy. He's been runner-up the last few years, and I think this is his year. Injury and all, I think he'll put it aside.
Well, I think all 3 of you here at the desk know it's a long 10 nights, as does JB. So time will certainly tell. And JB, we'll be seeing more of you soon. Have fun over there at Zouk.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll just be hanging out on the couch here.
Life
What a
leisure.
life. That's
Life
right. What a
leisure.
life for JB. That's all right. We'll all be out here in the Pro Rodeo Fan Zone having fun with everyone as they are making their way in to the Thomas and Mack Center for night number 1. When we come back, we're going to have more of your timed event picks, and Jackie Crawford will be back with us. Hey, I hope you're having fun with us. This is the NFR pre-show. And also when we come back, how about the steer wrestling? We're going to get to know some of the rookies who are making their first trip to the Wrangler NFR.
have the miso glazed salmon, please. Thank you.
Excellent choice. And for you, sir?
Yeah, I'll have the 8-ounce filet. Medium. Oh, and the seafood tower for the table.
Good call.
Great call.
Cheers.
This is the richest one-day rodeo in history.
Here we are with another chance to possibly win $1 million.
Hopefully this is our road to the American.
We love that money. We're trying for that $1 million.
Going to the casino.
Paving our way towards $1 million. Lord knows we could use it.
You know, it's an opportunity you only have once a year, so it's time to make it count.
At Tractor Supply, we understand that out here, no 2 days are the same. Some days start early, others end a little late. Some days you're taking things a step at a time, others you're just stepping away from it all. Some days you're caring for your property, others your family. Either way, you're ready for whatever comes next. At Tractor Supply, we'll help you make the most of life out here, no matter how you live it. Tractor Supply, for life out here.
Tucker Allen started steer wrestling with me when he was 14. And then we have Justin Schaefer, who I actually rodeoed with last year. I went in 2022. For him to make his first national finals now is surprising.
Justin can break down bulldogging better than 99% of people that bulldog.
It's funny, we got a room in our house called Tucker's room.
Tucker came to me when he was 14. He is on the smaller side, but you know, his heart's probably twice as big as most of the guys out there, and that makes up for a lot.
I am 5'9"3/4", but I think I weigh 180 or 185. It's not that small. But people make it sound like I'm so tiny.
You call somebody small with that much try and that much effort, he's just going to prove you wrong.
Well, you can learn more at Teton Ridge's YouTube channel and learn more all about those steer wrestling rookies. But you know, a guy who knows a lot about them is no one other than Luke Branquinho. Luke, I know you spend a lot of time over there and still coaching them in their own rights. What's your take?
Yeah, you know, Tucker came to me when he was really young.
He's 5'9"
really bugs him when they say that, which obviously it should, because, you know, he is not that small, and I tease him all the time, but his heart is huge. His work ethic is unbelievable. And you heard him talk about Justin, somebody that knows more about steer wrestling than about anybody. That's what I thought has hurt Justin in his career. He thinks too much about it. And we all know as competitors, if you put too much thought process into it, it could really drag you down. Justin, I told him, let's dumb it down. Let's make it simple. And obviously he's here for his first national finals. And again, surprised that he is making his first, but now I think he's got plenty more to come.
Well, are you going to put your money on either of these two rookies for a world championship?
Yeah, listen, that's tough. I love both those guys like brothers, but Dalton Massey has dominated last year, this year. I mean, obviously he broke a barrier to win the world championship last year, but he didn't let him affect him, Jackie. He started this season on top. He's on top when he gets back to Thomas and Mack, and he is somebody that's been so impressive the last 2 years. I got to put it on Dalton Massey.
That's right. We're watching some of his runs all throughout the 2024 regular season.
Yeah, and right here at Calgary on the horse Eddie of Tanner Mylands. Tanner's here hazing, same horses as last year. The success he had, and Dalton has so much confidence on the back of that horse. And we talk about confidence. If you can carry that into the Thomas and Mack, you're going to be hard to beat, and that's exactly where Dalton Massey is right now with that on that confidence level. You know, right here he does everything so correctly. He doesn't let anything bug him. If he makes a little bobble, he goes right back to it and goes hard at him. And Jackie, you know as well as I do, you can't let those little things that you think should have happened, you can't let them affect you on your next run.
Yeah, absolutely. I think rodeo is a true testament. You have to have the memory, a short-term memory whatsoever, and be able to turn everything around if something bad happens.
Well, Jackie, we're going to get now to the Las Tunas horsepower report. And who are you liking when it comes to horsepower in the Thomas and Mack?
You know, in the team roping, I just can't help but love Tyler Wade, his horse Spur. He has been he won the world championship on him last year. He was head horse of the year this year. This horse is just great at any setup. He makes great runs with this horse. They're going to be comfortable coming off that last year's world title. And I also love Wesley Thorpe is riding Patrick Smith's Horse of the Year, Turbo. And this horse had a ton of success. Obviously, everyone thinks he's great. They voted for him Horse of the Year. When you put this team together, they're hunting a second world championship, and I think horsepower is going to be huge in this arena today.
Luke?
Yeah, I don't disagree with you one bit. I agree with you all the time, Jackie. But yeah, and again, the confidence that he had success on that horse in this building.
Yeah.
It's just a recipe for success. They know how to get it done, and look for him to get it done again.
Yeah, I just think it's so important when you've got that timing down on one. It's like it can pick up so much easier the next year.
How about when you're wearing back number 1? You think Shad Mayfield's coming in with a lot of confidence, Jackie?
Oh, man. I think he's coming in with a lot of confidence. Number one, he's $65,000 ahead of everyone else, the rest of the pack. He's going to be riding his horse of the year, Lollipop. And, you know, I think Shad Mayfield wants that second world title so bad. You know, he's come in here and he hasn't always had the finals that Shad Mayfield is capable of having. But I think he's got so much confidence on this horse. You know, this year I'm picking a lot of my picks due to the horsepower that they're on, because they're going to have, I think it's so important in here, and they're going to have that confidence in those horses. And I think Shad Mayfield, he's just a step ahead of everyone right now, in my opinion, and I can't wait to see him finally hit his lick here in the Thomas Mack.
Luke, what do you know about Lollipop?
I like lollipops. I've always liked lollipops. I was a fat kid, but this is such a great horse, and Shad has so much confidence in him. But listen, I'm going to get on the opposite side of that, $60-some thousand. That lead can get cut pretty fast in the first 2 rounds.
You're right.
Now with the money that the National Finals is paying, right?
Yeah.
But you got to look at Coleman Proctor. You got to look at, here's one, Wasey Shala. We haven't talked much about this young bull rider rookie. He in the race for the Rookie of the Year in the bull riding. We all know how that event can go. I mean, if he just does his job, that guy could give Shad Mayfield a run for the money in that all-around race as well.
Yeah, and really it's anyone's game still. As you just mentioned, for the Wrangler NFR this year in 2024, $16.2 million up for grabs over the next 10 nights. And you want to talk go-round money? Over $33,000 for just placing first in round number 1.
Yeah, I think, you know, I've been in this situation enough now that when you have that much money thrown at you in the go rounds, I feel like you start off, you have to go for the go rounds. You can't start off hunting the average. You have to just kind of find yourself in the average race and then maybe start playing it, because if you start off in the average and then you stump your toe somewhere along, you've left a lot of money on the table throughout the week.
Yeah, so I'm going to date myself. When I started, I think the go rounds paid $20,000 less. I think they were $13,000. I'd never once thought about that average. It was go round, go round, go round. Even when I was doing good in the average in the 9th, 10th round, I didn't pay any attention to the average, because back then it didn't pay but $30,000. It wasn't that big of a difference. But I think now with the way the go rounds are paying, you still have to do that. You could dominate through the first 5 rounds and stub your toe and, let it roll.
Yep.
Luke, are you going to ask me my pick?
Yeah, I would love to tell you. Katie, what is your pick? I want to know who you think in the barrel racing.
You know, I can't help but micromanage the process. It's very hard for me to lose control up here, but I'll let you ask me just one question. Right. No, Jackie's the boss. 23-time world champion. So when it comes to barrel racing, and I think all of us can chime in on, who we think's got it, but I have to put my money on world champion Haley Kinsel. She and Sister are so fierce in this arena. Sister knows her job. I know that the passion between both of them, it truly is a great partnership. And we can't help but think back, gosh, when was it? Was it 2017 when she was 13-11 inside the Thomas Mack, setting the arena record? 13-11. They're coming into the NFR with over 200,000 won. Haley picks and chooses of when she rides Sister all throughout the regular season. And, she was tied for Horse of the Year this year alongside Cassie Mowry's great horse. So this entire industry and sport knows how great Sister is too. So we'll see. I know it's a long 10 nights, but if I had to put money on anyone right now, it's Haley Kinsel.
Well, Jack, you said you pick on horsepower. Obviously, that's the horse you'd probably want to be on.
That is my pick as well, because listen, you can't pick against Haley and be realistic about it, because right now I really think that Sister is firing like Sister did when she showed that 13-11 in the Thomas and Mack. And so I think that Haley is going to be extremely successful this week. Sister's going to be on fire. And, but there's a lot of people in this field that have some great horses. In the barrel race, you just never know who's going to step up. So I'm excited to watch a lot of these girls go. Leslie Smoligo on that war horse Gus, you never know what's fixing to happen with her either. And she's second in the world.
Well, we've got a full-page graphic of who we predict for the world champions. Let's see how it all shakes out. Kaycee Feild, you obviously, he said bareback riding with Jess Pope. Stetson has Ryder Wright, no surprise, his brother. Josh Frost in the bull riding. TJ Gray for JB. Dalton Massey for Luke. Jackie, you've got your money on Shad, Money Mayfield, and Tyler Wade, and Wesley Thorpe. And for me, well, you just heard it. For barrel racing, Haley Kinsel. And you know what? If you want to play along with us, I hope you've already gotten your Pro Fantasy Rodeo team all put together. But if not, hey, when we come back, we'll tell you who we have on our fantasy team. Stay right here.
At Tractor Supply, we understand that out here, no 2 days are the same. Some days start early, others end a little late. Some days you're taking things a step at a time, others you're just stepping away from it all. Some days you're caring for your property, others your family. Either way, you're ready for whatever comes next. At Tractor Supply, we'll help you make the most of life out here, no matter how you live it. Tractor Supply, for life out here.
Get ready for the richest weekend in rodeo. The American Rodeo returns to Arlington, Texas, April 11th and 12th, 2025. With performances by country music artists Riley Green and Bailey Zimmerman. See the biggest names in rodeo go head-to-head versus rising stars, all for a shot at a life-changing $1 million. Get your tickets now at AmericanRodeo.com and join us April 11th and 12th at Globe Life Field. The American Rodeo, where legends are made.
For PFR's 21st birthday, we're celebrating in style. I'm offering up my own personal Cybertruck. Go to ProFantasyRodeo.com. Pick one rider from each event at the NFR. Rodeo Super Bowl. Best team over 10 nights is the winner. You could pick the truck and trailer, but think about how cool it'd be driving around in one of these.
Well, we are live in the Pro Rodeo Fan Zone. We are 30 minutes away for round number 1 of the 2024 National Finals Rodeo. But you know what? Before we get to that and before we kick off round 1, it's Pro Fantasy Rodeo time. Joining us back at the desk, all the world champions, Stetson Wright, Kaycee Feild, Jackie Crawford, and Luke Branquinho. We've been talking about our world champion picks and who we think is going to take round 1. But, you know, when we put our Pro Fantasy Rodeo teams together, I have a lot of fun. What about you, Luke?
Oh, obviously, you know, I've never lost, so it's been good. But it's funny we talk about that because we all want certain people to win the world championship in each event. But when you come to picking your teams, you might be able to pick that top person in the world standings. You have to pick that bottom person. So that's where it rely a lot on horsepower, Jackie, like you said, who's going to win the most, but maybe not win that championship.
Yeah, you know, actually, for us, I like to pick who I have a little more knowledge on in the timed events, and then no offense, guys, but the rough stock, I'm just like, I'll place my money where it goes because I know nothing about it.
Stetson, we're going to take a look at your Pro Fantasy Rodeo team here and why you chose who you chose. Can you give us a rundown?
Well, bareback riding is Jess Pope for sure. Like Kaycee said, we've talked about him all night, but you can't go wrong with Jess Pope. Steer wrestling, I don't know much, but I'm going to go with Ty Erickson, team roping, Derek McGay, Paul Eves, and then bronc riding. I'm going to stick with rider like I've been doing. Calf roping, Joel Harris, his whole deal in Houston I thought was pretty sweet, so I went with him. Haley Kinsel in the barrel racing, once again, you can't steer away from her. And then Tristan Hutching, the bull riding. He seems to be able to win lots of rounds here every year, so I had to go with him.
Well, we'll see how it all stays together over these 10 rounds. Kaycee, how about you and your PFR picks?
For sure. I had a blast doing this. This is my first time doing the Pro Rodeo Fantasy Beginner's Luck. So, Luke, you're going to the bottom. Sorry, bud. Weston Timmerman, though, first time in Vegas. Like I said, he's been here as a little kid watching it. I'm excited for him. Jess Brown, big fan of his in the steer wrestling. Clay Smith, Buddy Hawkins. Zeke Thurston in the bronc riding. He's a winner. He does. Tough Cooper, big fan of Tough. He shines in Vegas, it seems like, all year long. He rodeos really hard. He gets to Vegas, gets on the right horse, goes to winning. Tyler Bingham, bull riding. I almost forgot my favorite barrel racer of all, Lisa Lockhart. I'm really excited to see what she can do here in Vegas this year.
Without question, and I know Lisa has so many fans inside Thomas and Mack, and not only that, but going up and down the rodeo road all throughout the year. We're going to bring in now over from Zook Nightclub, Sierra Spratt and JB Mooney, as well as Casey Jones. And Kaycee, you are the man when it comes to Pro Fantasy Rodeo. How do you think Stetson and Kaycee are going to fare?
It looks like a pretty good team to me. You know, you never know what happens in that little yellow arena, as you could attest. But no, it's great. It's easy to play. You just pick 8 riders in each event, and that's your rodeo team for all 10 rounds. So make sure we get a picks in when that first bucket chute opens. The entries close, and so make sure you don't miss out on the action.
JB?
Yeah, I think I've got a really good team. We all picked Jess Pope, it looks like, in the bareback riding, which you can't go wrong. Mr. Vegas there, but I picked Wacey Shallow in the bull riding. I think he steps up, young rookie, and shows out.
Sierra Spratt.
I'm pretty confident about my team. I know everyone's seeming like they're really confident, but I think I'm the most confident. I've got a great barrel racer. I got Riley Webb in the calf roping. He's been roping better than he ever has, in my opinion. Can't go wrong with Emily Beisel. She's got a lineup of horses in the barrels that, I mean, if one doesn't work round one, she's got a lot to pick up for rounds 2 through 9. So pretty excited.
Well, we will definitely see. As we know, round 1 is certainly upon us, but stick around after the Rodeo Pro Fantasy Live. We'll be here, and you can catch more of the action with Kaycee, JB, and Sierra right after our show. But Jackie, how about your team?
Well, I mean, dumb luck, but I picked Jess Pope. Yes, apparently I did it right.
Because of his last name.
I picked Ty Erickson in the steer wrestling because I think he's on riding horse of the year, and I think that he came off of that broken leg really strong. I think he's going to have a great 10 days in here. I picked Cody Snow and Hunter Cook in the team roping because I think these guys are really going to get a lot of round money. I think they're going to sneak in there, and at the end of these 10 days, I think they're going to have a lot of money racked up. Ben Anderson in the saddle bronc riding because we're friends and I like him. And I stuck
That's
with
all
my
that matters.
I stuck with my man Shad Mayfield. I just think he's going to be on a roll this year and he's going to show out what he's capable of. I went with Haley Kinsel in the barrel race, spent my money there. I just think that her and sister's going to be hard to beat, like we've talked about. And Trey Kimsey, if I'm being honest, because that's how much money I had left.
Hey, and you know what? That might be the team to beat. We'll see. We will see indeed. I think we're going to take a look now at my Pro Fantasy team. And I do, I don't like to brag too much, but I was the Pro Fantasy Rodeo champion just a few years back. So I wear that belt buckle proud. But here's my team. Richie Champion, I can't help but choose the veteran. I think he's a great bareback rider, and I know that he's bound to win around. Dakota Eldridge, well, he was expensive, but I want Dakota to do well. He's won the average twice. He's been here 10 years. I want him to have a gold buckle for him and his family. Luke Brown and Paul Eves, Lefty Holman, California Cowboy, world champion Riley Webb, Andrea Busby. She's going to come in with some really fierce horsepower. And when it all shakes out in the bull riding, I've got Chase Doherty. So hopefully I got my fingers crossed that I fare well. I just don't want to be at the bottom of a pack. That's all I know.
Well, all we know is we're going to hear about that buckle every night. I can guarantee you.
Yeah, right. I gotta talk about something. I mean, each of you have so much to talk about as it relates to, I don't know, Hall of Fame inductions, multiple gold buckles. Luke, do you have any comments?
No, you do amazing, and you should brag on your accomplishments, Katie. I think that's wonderful.
Right,
but do I get to tell you my picks?
Yeah, please do.
Oh, perfect.
Your turn.
Wait. What happens to the loser? Have we decided that?
Yes.
Just so you're ready.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not going to lose, so I don't care.
Well, this is the Celebrity Tattoo League, Kaycee, and I know this is your first time being a part of this. So whoever wins first, they choose the tattoo of choice for last place. Are you ready?
I'm going to pass out, so I don't care what the tattoo looks like. I'm scared of needles.
You know who did a great job with that was Anthony Lucia last year.
He lost fair and square and had to go get a tattoo. Good job, Lucia.
Yeah, he did. Luke, your team?
Oh, I got a team. That's right. I do. I think you and I are the only ones that didn't pick Jess Pope.
I spent my money elsewhere. Yeah, I spent my money elsewhere.
Last year's world champ, Keenan Hayes, that guy's a stud. Now, Scott Gunther come in at the bottom. This guy, if he pulls the nose out, Scott, please finish the nose back to the chute. You will win a lot of money. He'll dominate the steer wrestling. Eric Rogers, Paul Eves. I watch these guys dominate at the end of the season to get to the national finals. Zeke Thurston, how can you pass up that guy? Riley Webb in the Teton roping, he's so impressive. Wenda Johnson, I'm looking for her to have a big finals. And then right there at the end, I mentioned Wacey Shallow's name in the all-around standings, but also has a chance to win a world championship in the bull riding. That's my bull rider.
Well, like I said, and what's the title of your team there? 5-time Gold's Fantasy? That's original.
Yeah, I know. Fantasy. It's my team. Anyway, Katie, when I get that buckle, I may replace this one with my Pro Fantasy Rodeo.
Well, we are going to get all to the action. Round 1 is soon here, but we are now going to toss it over to Pro Fantasy Live, Sierra Spratt with JB Mooney and Casey Jones. And hey, come on back. This entire cast will be here for rodeo recap following round number 1 at the NFR. But for now, Sierra, take it away.
Thank you so much, Katie. What a great show and what a star-studded lineup. I got a pretty full couch, too, looking at some pretty cool guys. I've got J.V. Mooney and Casey Jones, Mr. Rodeo Vegas, PFR himself. Casey, you said this is the 21st birthday of Rodeo Vegas. What better than to be here in Zouk Nightclub in Vegas?
Really excited about this venue. You know, this was voted #1 nightclub the last 3 years. And so it's the best place to throw a party. And then Rodeo Vegas, we party. It's Cowboys, you know, it's time to go. And no, this year we're starting off the watch party. Doors open at 5 o'clock. And then we'll do the PFR live. And then we're going to watch the rodeo here. And you get a table. They got food and beverage there if you want to get a table. But it's all free to enter. And then after the band gets done, or after the rodeo gets done, we have Rodeo Vegas live. And then after that, the band will come on. We have Wade Bowen tonight. He was one of the popular favorites from last year. And then, well, the DJ comes on. And then on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we have late night. And so that's when the DJs, and Lauren and Lena are very popular. She's, I don't know what, like, genre she is, but she's invited by the Montana Boys. And so really looking forward to it. So on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we have late night.
JV, did you get all that?
No.
We'll have it written down for you somewhere.
I just like sitting on the couch in here in a nightclub instead of having to sit outside with them.
Well, let's talk Pro Fantasy Rodeo, Casey. I mean, it must be so exciting to see how far it's come. I mean, this year, by far, I was not expecting you to offer up your own Cybertruck for your game. Please explain how that came to mind.
Yeah, that's a long story, because I'm a nerd, right? And when Elon first announced he was building a Cybertruck, you know, stainless steel, I went on there and did a bunch of research, and the first week that they released where you could order one, it was 5 years ago I've had the truck ordered. And so it took forever to get it, you know, and then you hear about how cool they are. So I finally got it, and I didn't ever really, you know, post it on Facebook or Instagram, you know, because I was a little bit embarrassed of what my buddies would think. But the technology's crazy. And then more of my buddies started figuring out, like, are you going to give that away? Because every year I get a truck, a diesel truck, and fix it up, put cool rims on it, and I don't drive it because that's the winners. And so they asked me, are you going to give that truck away? I'm like, no, it's my truck. Like, it's mine. I've been waiting 5 years for it. And so a lot of my buddies, you know, they're like, if you give that away, I'll buy 10 teams. I'm like, we never bought a team before. What are you talking about? So one of the things we're really passionate about with Fantasy Rodeo is how it creates new rodeo fans. And so we had 2 marketing campaigns this year, you know, one endemically for the truck and trailer, and the second one would be, you know, non-endemically, like the Cybertruck, those who want it, because it's a big toy is what it is, you know. You're not going to go, you know, drive it across the ranch. You're not going to rodeo it across, you know, the U.S. as we do. But for a toy and you can win it, you know, it'd be, you know, it's harder to make a $120,000 investment, but to win it, you know, it'd be a great prize. So we went ahead and put some logos on and said, heck, we're going to give it away. The winner gets to either choose the Cybertruck or the Ram truck and trailer.
I'm picking the Cybertruck.
I'll go with the truck and trailer.
More practical. Come on, driving that thing around, imagine.
I can't haul bulls with the Cybertruck.
Yeah, you're going to have to go diesel.
Yeah,
you're more of a diesel guy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we have about 20 more minutes starting now to get your picks in for the new game, Daily Picks. Now, who's on your guys' must-have? You got to have them on your team for Pro Fantasy Rodeo.
Bareback riding, I had to have Jess Pope. I mean, it's hard to bet against him in Vegas. The man stands out here. So if you go against him, I think you're messing up.
What about in the barrel racing?
I went with Cassie Mowry.
Okay, that's actually very smart.
Yeah, I get all my insight from my wife, who actually has barrel horses, and she swears up and down that Cassie is an excellent barrel horse trainer. She lives right in Dublin, right by Stephenville where we're at, so that's who I always go. I asked Samantha for that pick.
Casey, what about you?
I made up several teams. I can't remember which one I plugged in because I've never played it before. Because it always looked funny if I won Pro Fantasy Rodeo, right? And so, you know, for the talent league, we went ahead and said, like, okay, this is my first time going to play, so I'll probably end up last place. But Wasey, you know, I think for the value, he's young, hungry. He's a good value in the bull riding. I grabbed him, Jess Pope in the bareback riding, his stats doesn't lie, and he comes out here and he just cleans up, takes all the money. One of the popular topics every year I get asked is, do you pick a team that ropes together or a team that, doesn't rope together? Because you pick a header and a healer. And so, there's not a clear answer. Yeah. Because in the last 20 years, we've had probably 60% of the winning teams have roped together, and then 40% that hasn't. But it's kind of, a good, makes you think about the strategy. So if you have the same partners, when they win, you basically win 2 events, you double up. But what happens if, your team misses, but you have another healer and he wins a round? So you have 2 shots at that round. So the verdict's still out after 21 years of what the best strategy is in the team roping.
I have never thought about that. I'm kind of embarrassed to say. Never crossed my mind, but that's genius.
I always leave the team roping last and see how much money I've got left over.
I kind of do too.
Because the team roping eats up a lot of the salary cap, and the reason we have a salary cap is so we don't have a tie. If we had just picked eight of them, everybody picked number 1, and everybody would, be tied for the truck and trailer. And it'd be kind of tough to split that up. So the lower the salary cap is, the less we have ties.
I usually leave the bull riding to last too.
That's usually my first pick.
But so here's a little bit, another inside strategy I've kind of, thought about. So in the bull riding, with the day monies counting, it's pretty important. You take Kai last year, that one round, how much he win that one bull?
Oh, over 100,000.
And that counts for PRCA standings and your fantasy standings. So when they, that was probably about, 6 years ago, maybe. When did they count day money, JB?
I don't remember.
It's actually the first perf, so we're, putting the results in. And they changed it to where day money's going to count for PRCA World Standings. Well, the PRCA posted the results, but they didn't put the day money in, and we were aware of it. And so we called the PRCA and said, hey, you guys, your results are wrong. You got to count the money. And they're like, oh, that's right. So we're pretty particular about making sure we have the right winners, and so it's an interesting strategy because your bull rider could win instead of 30,000. What's the go rounds pay this year? 32,000 or something.
JB?
I don't know.
Instead of winning 30, you could win 86.
Yeah.
So would you spend most of your salary or a little bit more of your salary on a bull rider?
Yeah.
Due to just that reason.
And Kai, he was the only guy to ride in the eliminator round and won 100 plus thousand.
Yeah, he was on the champion team last year.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. You take a bail racing horse that just goes in there and prints money, you might save some money for that. But then, there's the timed events and the rough stock events. You never know. When they hit that little yellow arena, you never know what's going to happen. I had a good buddy winning the thing the whole way through one year, and his bronc rider missed that out in the 10th round, and it cost him the truck and trailer.
Yeah.
And the bronc rider was Wade Sundell. Who would have bet Wade Sundell would have missed a horse out in the 10th round? So you never know. But you can't win if you don't have a chip in a chair.
It's a lot of good insider information. Thank you, Casey Jones. We're going to toss it down now to Alicia, who is still at the Thomas and Mack. Alicia, what's it like down there? I'm sure there's so much excitement to kick off the NFR of 2024.
I'm telling you, Sierra, round 1, there's always so many emotions, and you have to be here to experience it to get the actual feeling. And I don't know who's more nervous going in tonight, the athletes or everybody out there that's playing pro fantasy rodeo, because round 1 is going to determine a lot heading into the rest of the 9 rounds. But hey, let's look at some stats heading into the first round to give us some more knowledge here in Vegas. So every single world champion started the NFR ranked 4th or better in the world standings last year, and 6 of them were ranked number 1 or number 2. There's a lot of money to be won at the National Finals Rodeo, but having standings lead prior is definitely an advantage both mentally and statistically. The NFR average champion in the saddle bronc riding has scored over 840 points each of the last 7 years before 2017. That had happened just twice in NFR history. I really think this speaks volumes to the caliber of bucking horses being brought up by the PRCA stock contractors and, of course, the athletes as well. Now, the next two athletes are going to use their consistent season as an advantage heading into round one. Hayes Waite and Josh Frost are the only bull riders covering more than 50% of their bulls this season. And of course, Josh coming in number 4 in the world. Last year, it was the third consecutive time he's finished second in the world. He's really going to bring it here in 2024. And 4 of the last 5 world champions in the tie-down roping have caught all 10, and all of them have been 86 seconds or faster on 10 calves. 4 rookies in the tie-down roping this year, and many veterans of the game. I'm looking forward to see what the strengths will be brought here in 2024, but hey, bringing us more knowledge heading into the first round is 8-time world champion Stetson Wright. And what we want to know, Stetson, is what are your predictions for the top money earner of the 2024 Wrangler National Finals Rodeo?
Oh, I mean, the Top Gun winner, that I guess the high money winner, it's always so hard to pick, especially right now. Like, you normally have a pretty good idea right after round one, but since you guys are putting me on the spot, and I'm just going to stick to the family. Once Ryder gets hot, he's hard to stop. So he's going to be who I'm going to ride this out with, and I think once he starts the show tonight good, I think it's just going to be hard to stop him.
Now, what horse is he matched up with tonight?
Bobby's Show. This horse's first time coming to the finals, and I honestly didn't know it. Then I pulled up a video of Lefty Holman riding him earlier this year in Colorado Springs, and I was doubting it, and then when I watched the video, I was like, man, you do have a good shot to win the round or place high. So it should be a really good start. But like I told you before we got on here, is all 15 of these guys have a chance to win the round, and the bronc riding will be the hardest event to win a gold buckle in this year.
There sure is a strong caliber of athletes heading into this Wrangler National Finals Rodeo, and lots to look forward to as we begin the first of 10 rounds. But hey, let's head back and talk to Sierra Spratt back there at Zook Nightclub.
Well, I definitely have to say that was a little bit predictable, his top money earner pick.
Yeah, it's kind of weird he went with that guy.
Well, Kaycee, let's start with you. Who's your prediction for the top money earner for the whole week, that Top Gun award? Who do you think is going to get it?
Well, I think one of the most undervalued picks is Tyler Waggersback. Like, he's won 5 gold buckles in that little yellow arena, Like last year, he wasn't even supposed to have a shot at the world championship. They come down the 10th round. A few guys, was able to go out of it and let Wag go to the top. So I look at this, where he just barely made it in the national finals this year. I start looking at the best value for your $550,000, and it's pretty obvious, 5-time world champion at $20,000. And then I'm sitting there and Gail's taking all the phone calls, putting teams in, and it's just Wags back. And it's like, man, I bet there's going to be 85, 90% of the teams that has him. So I go on the backside of our admin, and this is just a little sneak peek. But of 15, steer wrestlers, he only had 15. He was only on 15% of the teams. So I don't, I thought it'd be obvious, but Dalton Massey's the number 1 favorite so far. He's at 24% of the teams, and then Dakota Eldridge, and then Will Loomis, and then Wag. But that kind of surprised me, because I thought that everyone would have Wag, because you can't, spend all your money. But no, that's a little insight. Only 15% of the teams so far have Wag.
JB, what about you? Who do you think is going to be that Top Gun?
I went ahead and stuck it on Lacey. I picked him in the bull riding. The kid has a lot of talent, rides extremely well. He's come to the house, got on some bulls before, so I've seen it firsthand. And I think if he starts tonight off good, you're not going to stop him all week.
Now, Kaycee, let's run through your picks, as you got to put in a whole pick for this league here. I mean, are you sticking with who you're thinking already? I mean, did you change at all, or did you just go one and done?
I'm nervous. It's the first time I ever played, so Jess Pope, I think he's going to be clean up. Wag, Wasey. So yeah, I don't know. The more I think about it, I'm kind of confident about it. What is the booby prize for the loser, though? What are we going to talk about there?
I have no idea.
I actually have a fun surprise, because out of the 3 of us, whoever does the worst each night, there's some punishments that we're going to be doing on air.
Great.
Do you want me to give you a sneak peek now, or just be surprised?
I would just
a little.
Wait.
Little sneak peek.
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I think once the loser has to dress up like Willy Wonka for the entire show.
Good luck, JB.
I hope it's her.
We don't know. That might not happen. I remember that one on the list, though.
That's pretty good.
JB, let's walk through your team now. Do you remember, obviously bull riding, we got that one, but who else who really stuck out to you?
I can't remember. I've got 2 teams going. Because Randy, there we go. Yeah, I picked Wags too. Derek Begay, I couldn't pass him up. Zeke Thurston, I picked him in the bronc riding. I hated to go against the Wrights, but Zeke always stands out here and rides really good. Marty Yates, known him for a long time. Ropes really good. So, and then Cassie Mowry, because my wife told me to. So, Jess Pope, you can't bet against him. Wasey, I'm putting all the chips on the rookie showing out.
That's pretty good. My team, I'm pretty confident with my team as well. But again, I went with the top money earner for me, I believe, is going to be Haley Kinsel. I mean, Katie even said Haley Kinsel. I know it's almost too easy, but I do know that if sister, something happens, we got J-Lo as a backup, who we've seen do well in this little yellow arena as well. And I'm pretty excited. Bareback, I did not go with Jess Pope. I guess apparently he's the main one. I went with RC. I'm not a rough stock rider. I don't know. I'm very confident with my tie-down pick and barrel racing pick. Like I said, Emily Beisel, it's a great lineup of horses. Tyler Wagesback, though, I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking, he's cheaper this year because he was hurt, but he's going to do great. This is kind of where he comes alive at this arena. Rider right, I had to do that because I didn't want to get in trouble, but I also think he's going to be an impeccable pick for saddle bronc riding. Well, we just got a few more minutes until everyone needs to be locking in their picks for daily picks, but we're going to be able to get this party started here once the rodeo's done. And I know Casey's pretty excited. JV, I think you're pretty excited as well.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to have to dress up like Willy Wonka.
We'll see.
Well, good luck to everybody.
Yeah, good luck.
Well, we've got some exciting shows coming up. As soon as the rodeo's over, we're going to be throwing it back to Thomas and Mack for rodeo recap. And then right after that, we're going to be kicking off with Rodeo Vegas Live right here on these couches with JB Mooney and a lineup of exciting country music artists, athletes, and more. We can't wait to see you there. Make sure to be tuning in, and I'll see you soon.